Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing this morning? Hey, Raj. How you doing, brother? Oof. Good stuff. I'm a little slow this morning. You guys will have to forgive me. I had food poisoning yesterday, and then, oh man, which triggered a rapid heartbeat, which wore me out. It's like running a half marathon. So I'm a little tired this morning. So we'll keep this session short. Let's go take a look and see what's going on. Oh man, don't get old. Nice liquidation yesterday. We took out that low. You know, it, that created some selling. Not a lot. Didn't spend a lot of time down here underneath 6,900. Popped right back up. Closed up here at 69.40. Overnight inventory is long now as we're taking this inventory and selling it. You guys have seen this game before, over and over and over and over again. So this should be nothing new for you. You guys know that after a market liquidates, what happens? Anyone? Okay. What happens after a market liquidates? What happens at night, the next evening? Come on, guys. We talk about this every single night. Thanks, Cisco. Oh, I'm gonna make you guys all go sell fruit at on a street market. Then seriously, hey, get rid of the stuff you bought cheap, right? You guys have to help me out a little bit here. I'm not feeling well, okay? So I need you guys to wake up, okay? All right. All right. So it's exactly what we're doing. We're doing the same thing every day. We had this was the inventory that liquidated, right? Of course, you've got some news and stuff like that. But once again, if you look at our zones, and I go put in all the overnight sessions, you see what we're right back in 69.23 to 69.63. Man, the kids in my building, and I call them kids, they're in their 30s. They're like, "Oh, we got to try this new restaurant." So they ordered from the food from this. It was just a burger, right? Something must have been wrong with it because oh my god. Anyway, not to get gross. So anyway, we're taking this inventory and we're selling it up here. So your target tonight is 69.63. We're pretty close, right? We're at 59. So that's basically what's going on in the overnight. We're taking the cheap crap that we bought at the close. As you can see, I'm really kind of behind. My charts are not updated. Let's just go show you guys. You could definitely see inventory being taken, sold higher, right? Very clear, right? We've got our balance zones. I did a balance zone from 33 and 3/4 for 42. And you just double them to the upside, double them to the downside, and you're good to go. Now all you got to do is wait for your setup. Nice inside day or inside evening. See the point of control from yesterday? The point of control is a fancy way of saying this is where the majority of the inventory is priced. So you can see the market open down here, right? The overnight low is right at the low of end period here, right? And that shows us where the shorts are trapped from yesterday, because you could see that the J low went all the way down to 86, or found a bid, boom. That's the last low, then K period, nowhere close. L period, nowhere close. So people who shorted under 6,900 are trapped under there. They added here, they added here. They got trapped in M period. Boom, there's your bid. Expect this to get challenged today. Okay, when a market has a massive day, what was the high yesterday? 70.15, 70.16. Lows all the way at 69, 68.90. That's a massive, massive range, eh? So when markets trade like this, and I told you guys that this was going to happen, I told you this was going to be the way these markets are going to operate going forward. It's going to be like this, but get used to it. Make sure that you manage your risk, okay? Because yesterday, if you were adding to a long at 69.63, by 69.23, you're out of money, right? So just be careful. We've taught you over and over again, at Trading Syndicate how to do this, right? Don't take crazy trades. It's going to be nuts, right? It's going to be nuts. This market is going to be like this for a while, okay? We're going to have big ranges. We're going to have thin order books. So don't be a knucklehead, okay? Take only good trades. Don't take trades that are like, oh, let's just see if this happens. And, all the bad habits that you got from other trading rooms, FOMO and YOLO and all that crap, just get rid of it all, because it's going to put you in the poorhouse. So, be smart, take good trades, wait for your setup, and if your setup doesn't come, don't trade, right? Make sure that the market, right? Yeah, make sure that the market that you trade, the market fits the terms and conditions under which you do business, because if it doesn't, there's no sense putting money to risk. Like right here, you'll notice I don't even have my other Sierra chart open because I'm not trading. I don't feel well. So I'm doing a session with you guys. I'll stay until London opens. We'll do about half hour today, and I should be back at it 100% tomorrow. I thought I'd be okay today, but man, um, the old ticker. When you get tired, boy, ooh, don't have the energy I had when I was 25. So let's see. We've got some single prints here in the profile. A little short position right here, right? So the overnight point of control. Where is my little sticker for that? Oh, come on. The overnight point of control is here at 45. The goal is to take this and sell it up here. Okay? There's less sellers at night, so there's less competition. So traders can get rid of what they bought yesterday underneath 69.43. They can get rid of it above it. Make sense? So you've seen this over and over and over and over again, right? Haven't you? You get a liquidation the next night the market's up. Should notice that pattern by now, right? Now, what if that pattern doesn't happen? That means we have follow-through selling. When we have follow-through selling, that means you get more liquidation, and we'd be down probably around 68.24 right now, right? So that's it. Charts are all set up. They're ready to go, ready to trade. Let's see if this coffee I'm drinking kicks in and works. Yeah, not used to not having energy. That's weird. That's okay though. So if we take out the overnight high, which is a poor high, it's a double top that you could see. You see the top of the candles, how they're selling right here? See that? Right? That's your poor high. There's a stop right here. They're going to sell into it here as well. Now, the only thing that's going to push this market higher is if enough people got short. Obviously, you can see that there's a short position under 69.31. That's the overnight low is, right? And then you can see the market one time framing higher. What does one time framing higher means? It means the the lows are getting higher. When the lows are getting higher, it means the buyers are following sellers up. Very simple. Now let's see if we can get another couple of ticks here and get into 4 times cost basis, right? Let's see if the levels work. So there's 69.60. That's a proper high. That's 2 ticks of excess. Yep, distribution of the cheap stuff. Thanks, Cisco. Oh. Obviously, you don't trade this, right? There's nothing to trade here, right? I would, if you are thinking a short, your stop is 69.60, 61, right? If you have to short it, if someone's holding a gun to your head, you're waiting for London to try and correct inventory lower, right? Um, that's what you're looking for. We are at 2 times profit on cost basis, so not the best idea to look for a long right here and buy a breakout. So let me talk a little bit about breakouts. Um, there's something you should know about breakouts. The breakouts that you trade, you need to sort of be able to judge the price action when you're going into a breakout situation, right? This kind of price action is not conducive to buying a breakout. Do you guys get that? See how slow it is? Methodical. You're not going to have a lot of follow through. Did they raise margins tonight? I haven't checked my email. I don't see any emails from AMP. What's our news today? What do we have for news? Wednesday, 8:15, ADP employment, 9:45. Nothing really for news that would make them raise margins. So it's just slow. So there you go. See, if you see sellers and you're short, say you shorted 59 and a half, 59, your stop's at 60, 61. Now where do you look to buy it back, right? You just, you got to have some sort of, I'd be looking somewhere here at 58 and then down here under 57. Why would I do that? Because there's a little position here. There's a little position here. I'm going to give you guys a little tip. If you don't have volume profile, how can you tell where the high volume areas are going to be? Well, the high volume areas are going to be the tightly clustered candles where you spend time trading volume. that will be where your what you guys call high volume lymph nodes are, right? You don't need volume profile. You'll just be able to look at that and go, oh, there's a cluster there. That's a little cost basis, right? And they took it and they sold it here, put it on sale, and they came right back to that cost basis. Do you guys see that? Cost basis, distribution, sale. See? And then right back up. And then distribution again. Right? This is very common in markets when the inventory is underneath us. Right? See, the inventory from yesterday is underneath here. So we are in distribution of that inventory for profit. So you'll see, that's why markets will go up. You'll short them, right? If you don't short right here, and you're shorting here, this is where you get trapped. Back up, same thing, right? You'll see this sort of right? That's a trend up, and you get that trend up when the inventory is underneath you, right? Now, if you don't know what inventory is, come into our trading room. We'll teach you. It's pretty simple, right? Inventory is the inventory of goods that you have in a market, right? Every trader has an inventory. You guys have an inventory. You don't even know you have an inventory. It's your trading account, right? You know, an inventory, what do they define inventory? Right? It's the raw materials or goods held by a business for sale. Right? So in this chart, this chart is showing the sale of ES contracts. And that inventory has a cost basis, right? It's how much you paid for your goods. Alrighty. We're creeping up on that 69.61 stop. We're going to try and get rid of as much of these contracts as we can before London opens. Right? So software companies got hit hard yesterday, huh? The AI is going to put these software companies out of business, I guess. That's the party line. I guess all the private equity funds that are heavily invested in software are hurting. And there's no liquidity in those, so they hit the ones that are trading, right? There's that stop at 61 to the tick. Now, generally, in a faster market, right, for those who like to trade breakouts, right, in a faster market, when you hit a stop, you generate buying, right? Because that stop, people will have their buy orders here, right? If they're short, so those buy orders get triggered, and then more people come in and start buying, and you get momentum to the upside. That's what we call follow through, right? But in a slow market, right, it's 3 o'clock in the morning in New York, generally what happens at that stop is because that's where buying is created. Who's going to be sitting there where buying is created? When inventory is above us, it liquidates. So yesterday, inventory was long, and we were looking for shorts, and boy, did we get shorts, right? So when inventory is above us, think of it like a used car lot. If you got a bunch of used cars sitting on the lot, the price is going to go down, right? So the dealer wants to get rid of them, so they're going to lower price. But when there's a lot of hot demand, the dealers will raise price. So look at that. We took that stop. We didn't even get one tick above 61. So if I was long at 56, 57, on a slow night like this, I'd be selling the crap out of it at 61, 60, 60 and 3/4. Does that make sense? Why? If I was long 500 contracts between 55 and 57, right? Right? I would sell the crap out of this until I found a big buyer. When I find a big buyer, I'm going to raise the price to see if that buyer follows me higher so I can sell it higher. Hey, Ed, thanks. Yeah, I had a cheat day, I had a cheat day and I paid for it. uh, yeah, I was pretty stoked, I lost I've lost almost 40 pounds. Right, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll have a cheat day. And I ate with the young guys in my building, the young doctors and dentists. And they're like, we've got to try this new burger place. Oh my God, that's the last time I ever eat out. Anywho, so that's why you have selling up here. That's why the breakout trade is not working, right? So for those of you who trade breakouts, and as soon as I get some more energy, I'm going to do a video on breakouts. Because can I get a show of hands? And don't don't be shy. How many of you guys actually trade breakouts? Yeah, guys in my room are like, nope, nope. Sometimes it can. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video on if you must trade breakouts, right? How do you tell which breakout to trade? Because there're going to be clues, right? First, there's going to be clues. First of all, breakouts usually work better in RTH, right? Because you have more traders, right? Right? There's nothing wrong with trying to trade breakouts. I just want you guys to be able to trade them intelligently, right? No, no, when it breaks out, like say this is a breakout rush, right? When it hits a level like a top and then breaks out from it. It's pretty hard to trade when the market's slow because look at these candles. That is not a beautiful breakout trade. Look how small those candles are, right? You can see that the seller who was selling here, well, they're just parked right there now, right? Because for a wholesale trader, for a large size trader, see you, Jerry. Have a good day at work. So for a large trader, when you have forced buying, right? When you take a stop, that triggers buy orders. So for you, that means, great, I can sell into that buying, right? You guys use the term liquidity, right? Liquidity is the ability to trade size without adversely affecting price. So when you have a bunch of new buyers, fresh meat, you could sell into them, right? And if you're long down here, you could sell into them all the way down to 56. See, so anyone who is trying to buy a breakout of 60, looking for 63, 64, right? They're going to be, as they say in Canada, hosed. Hey, Rocky, how you doing? I used to have a client named Rocky. You're not, by any chance, Rocky from Vancouver, are you? Used to trade for these two brothers. Oh my God, Rocky and LD characters. See, I did not see your PM, Trader Ed. I was sick as a dog yesterday. I apologize. I'll get to it today, tomorrow. So we got some bids down at 58, 59. Yeah, if anybody messaged me, I apologize. Yesterday was not good. I could just barely get through the sessions and then I had to go crash. The food poisoning wasn't that bad. I lost actually a kilogram. I'll take that. But the bad part was I get these rapid heart rates. So I've got like 100. My heart was just like boom, 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 boom. It was like 150 beats per minute. So I had to go lie down until that stopped. And then it would start again. And then it would stop. And then it would start again. By the end of the day, it felt like I had run like a half marathon. So I didn't do any work yesterday. I'm behind. Man, January, February has been, I got to be a little bit more careful. See, there's that seller. So if you were short, right, say you were short here because you saw those sellers, go put your bids down here, make a couple of points. I'll be looking for maybe 56 and a half. As we get down there, there's 56 and a half, right? And if you're wondering how do I know where the market's going to go, it's because you sit and watch. I'll give you a little hint. If you have the ability just to sit and watch a 1 minute candle chart and draw a straight line where the sellers are always at the top of the candles. And if you see the candle tops going from here to here to here, then you can short here, put your stop here, right? Or if you're feeling rich, you can use 60 as your warning level and have your ultimate stop at 61, right? And then you go and as soon as you're short, you go and you put some buy orders down, right? And if the market hits those buy orders, great, right? But if you have a buy order down here and it doesn't get hit, then at least you can cover here and make some scratch, right? Without having the trade go all the way back. Right? This way, you're not running around and moving your stops, right? You're not chasing stuff around, right? So you're trading, and it takes a little while to get into that habit, but that's what professional traders do. They use their orders to tell them how business is going, right? So say you shorted 10 contracts up here at 59, right? And if it got over 60, you might cover 5, and then your ultimate out would be 5, right? So that's your risk. Your risk is defined. right? Now here's your reward. So say you're short 10, cover 2, cover 2, cover 2, cover 2, right? And then right down here is your last cover. So say you're short 58, let's say you didn't get 59. Let's go 58 and a half, and you covered the balance of your position on 54. It's not a bad trade, my friends. Pays the bills, right? There we go. And we filled in the single prints, right? London is doing exactly what it usually does. It goes lower. And there's your inventory correction trade, right? Inventory is long. The trade is short. When you see a seller, right? You saw that they were competing here, right? Now, if I had my trading software open, right, my other Sierra, I would have been short, right? If I had been on the ball, right? Right? So you're shorting, you're using these levels as your risk. Because if you lose your seller, then you lose your backup. Right? The levels are working. We went right to 51 and a quarter. Beautiful, right? VWAP's down here at 46. There should be a little bit of buying before VWAP, right? Front running, right? So your next level, if you're still short, say you're short 20, put some bids down here. And that, my friends, is all there is to it. Now, if you're waiting for a long, I would look for a look below and fail of 42. See you, Cisco. Have a good one. I'm going to shut her down here. Does everybody understand? Does everybody understand that trade? Does anybody have any questions about the execution or the mechanics of that trade? Thanks, Cisco. Good stuff. So inventory long, we look for shorts. When do we engage in the short? When you see a seller. And the sellers are lowering their offers, that's when you engage, so that's where your risk is. This way you're not worrying about risk being 2 to 1 or whatever, right? Your risk is structural. Your risk makes sense in the business because if that seller at 61 sees buyers, they're going to raise price, right? So if the sellers raise price, that's your indication not to short it or to get the hell out of the short. Got it? It's simple. That's all you need to do, right? You want to be a short seller? Wait for the right opportunity. Wait till the sellers show themselves and show that they need to lower the price. Once they start lowering price, that's where you engage. And you put your stop right where they started selling, right? Simple. All right, my friends, come see us at the Trading Syndicate. I'll be back at 9. I apologize for the shortened sessions, but we will see you a little later on. Have a wonderful trading day. Be safe out there. Oh, I'm going to go try and get my body back to normal. Thanks, everyone. Hey, we got 2 Rockies. Cool. Come visit us at the Trading Syndicate. Steve's always running a sale. Look at that. Nice responsive bid, eh? Look at that. So that's why you cover into weakness, right? That's why you cover into weakness. Oh, good stuff. Have fun, Dave. Find us some more companies to take public. We'll chat as soon as I get some energy. Thanks, Dottie. Thanks, Stealth. See you guys. Have a great morning. If you have questions, leave them. And with me, DM me, and I'll get back to you by the end of the day, okay? Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your patience. Bye for now.